Welcome to Little's Lab. My name is Kim. I am a community learning specialist here at Do Space. And this morning for Little's Lab, we are we're right in the middle of our month, right? We're in the middle of our month, and we have been doing, our theme this month has been, or activities that kind of all fall under the same kind of category. We have been exploring our world. And what does that mean to you, friends? What do you think that means to you, exploring your world? It's pretty broad, right? There can be a lot of meanings to exploring our world. We can explore our world by learning about our entire planet, right? Maybe it's about just learning about our planet. Or maybe it's as simple as learning and exploring our backyard or our neighborhood, and seeing like what kind of birds are kind of hang out in your neighborhood, or is there any kind of wildlife, maybe some bugs. There are so many different ways to kind of think about and learn about your backyard. Like, for example, for me, I've been hanging out in my backyard quite a bit, and the other day I noticed a robin was zooming back and forth from different parts of my backyard to one spot in the tree in my backyard. And I was like, what is going on with that robin? Turns out I started kind of walking around the branch, and it was kind of hard to see because it's pretty leafy, but at one angle I could see a nest that she was either making. I can't quite tell. I'm assuming she was making her nest for her eggs. And it made me wonder, I wonder if she's already laid her eggs, or is she preparing to lay her eggs? I'm not sure. I'm not going to bother her. Definitely not going to bother her. You don't want to mess with between any kind of mama and her baby. So I wasn't going to climb up with a ladder and see, but it's been very interesting to kind of watch this mama robin kind of make a nest for her babies. And I've been keeping an ear out. I'm gonna keep an ear out to see if I can hear in the future little baby chirps from little baby birdies, little baby robins that maybe will hatch soon in the future. So sometimes it's just as simple as is seeing what's in your backyard. So let's see what other people are saying, how they're exploring the world. Our friend Roy says, yum, that he's been exploring food. Yeah, that's a great way to explore your world. Trying different foods. Absolutely. It's so fun to try new things. A lot of times the foods that we eat or try are from different parts of the world, and it's so fun to try those new foods from different parts of the world to see, because there are different vegetables and fruits and different meats and spices that people eat all over, so, and are native to those parts but may not be native to Nebraska. So it's fun to try different foods. So maybe it's a little bit different than what your mom and dad may usually make. So yeah, exploring foods is a great one. Our friend Byron says that he's been exploring by watching an opossum in the morning. That's so cool. Yeah, absolutely. Checking out that wildlife. People think like you have to go out and about to see cool wildlife. There's some cool wildlife just going on in our backyard. I don't think I've ever seen a live opossum, but maybe I just think it's not alive, because opossums sometimes they pretend to be dead so that other animals, they're like, oh, gross, this animal's dead, I won't eat it, and they're only pretending. So maybe I've seen opossums, but they're actually maybe they're still alive, but I just thought they were dead. Who knows? So very good. Yeah. What other ways? Our friend Dylan says juggling. Yeah, that's very cool. That's a great way. Kind of exploring your world is also kind of getting to know like how your body works, and juggling is a very great way to learn coordination, hand-eye coordination, and those kind of like major gross motor skills. Absolutely. I am not a good juggler. My father is an excellent juggler. He can juggle almost anything, and he does a thing where he throws one up really high and then catches it, and he's really great. And I did not get those skills. I've tried. So great job, Dylan, on trying to learn how to juggle. That's so cool. Perfect. Well, if there's anything else that you have found that you are learning about your world, whether it's, maybe something from across our planet to, like I said, just in our backyard or neighborhood, let us know in the chat. So excellent. Well, friends, we are going to get started today with our calendar. I think our calendar is great. It helps us with our learning our days of the week and numbers, and it can even help us with our letters. So I'm going to share with you a website called Starfall. Just one moment. Okay. Yeah, it's called Starfall, and it has some activities that you can use. Some of them are free, some of them aren't, which is okay. But yeah, the thing that we are going to be using, I just hit kindergarten, and then I'm going over to the right to touch our calendar that says May on it. So that is our calendar. And if you are kind of new to Little's Lab, if we were in the building, in our Little's Lab room, we have a great big monitor that you can touch. It's like a big touch screen, and you can touch it and it helps move this website through. So I'm going to have you guys pretend with me. Can you guys do that for me? I'm going to have you pretend with me, and I'm going to be actually moving us along through our website, but I'm going to have you help me by doing that. So for example, you should see a big white triangle in the middle of your screen. I'm going to have you go ahead and touch that for me. We're going to do that together. Go ahead and touch that triangle for me. And on your screen, you should see the name of our month and the name of our year. So our first word is the name of our month. And who knows what that very first letter in that very first word, what is that letter? What does our month start with? What letter does our month start with? Ooh, our friend Byron said, he knows the name of the month, right? Byron, do you know what that letter is called? What's that letter called? That very first letter makes a sound. It is M. That is right. It is our letter M. And then he also got it right. And Rory did too. Rory also said it was our letter M. So perfect. And then our month is called May. So May. We are in the month of May, and we are in the year 2020. Perfect. 2020. Those numbers make up our year. Perfect. I'm going to have you guys go ahead. Can you touch that green arrow in the bottom right hand of our corner? Go ahead and touch that arrow. So we're going to change it so we can see our calendar. And then you can kind of see where it says May 2020. And then right underneath, there are some words, and those are our 7 days of the week. And we go through our 7 days of the week, every month throughout the year. And we repeat them all year long. And should we say our 7 days of the week all together? Let's say them all together, and let's start with our Sunday. So let's say them together. I'm going to say them. You go ahead and you say them with whoever you're with your grown-ups or brothers and sisters. You say them whoever you're with, and I'll say them along with you. So let's start with Sunday. So there's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That is right. And then who knows what today is? What is our day today? Does anybody know what our day of the week today is? It starts with our letter T. You can kind of see that a hand is pointing. It's all glowy, golden. And it is our Tuesday. Tuesday. That is right. Oh, Lacey knew that it is Tuesday. So today is Tuesday. That is right. So can you guys go ahead and touch our Tuesday for us where it's all golden? Let's go ahead and touch that Tuesday for us. So today is Tuesday. That's our day of the week. Our month is called May, May. And then our date today is that number. And you can also see on our calendar that there is a big purple star on our date today. And it makes, our date is made up of two numbers, right? A 1 and a 2. Does anybody know what our number is called when it is a 1 is in front of a 2? You say it to your whoever you're with, because I bet you know. And maybe you don't, and maybe you're still learning your numbers past 10, and that's okay too. Yeah, it is our number 12. That is right. It is our number 12. So today is day 12 of May, or the 12th day of May. Perfect. So go ahead and touch that green arrow in the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and touch that. Oh, and now we need to fill in the blank. So we need to put our Tuesday where it needs to go, and our 12th day of May where it needs to go. Can you guys help me out with that? Let's start with our Tuesday. Let's touch and drag our Tuesday where it needs to go in our days of the week. Great job. And then let's move our 12 where it needs to go. Excellent. Nice work, friends. And then let's go ahead and touch that green arrow. Okay, so this is where I like to look at our calendar, because I like this calendar because a lot of times it has little pictures or icons to show us when there are special days in our month. And so let's talk about some of them. So last week on May 5th, or the 5th day, or number 5, let me get that, there we go. Our number 5 day, or the 5th day of May, was a day called Cinco de Mayo. And it was Teacher's Day. It was a double doozy day, which is great. So let's talk about Cinco de Mayo first. So does anybody know what Cinco de Mayo means? That is not English, right? That is in Spanish. Does anybody know what Cinco de Mayo means? I bet you do, and you don't even know. So Cinco de Mayo means the 5th of May. It's right in the date. So cinco means 5 in Spanish, and then mayo is May. And basically when you say de Mayo, it means of May. So Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May, it's right in the date. So if you ever think, oh, today's the 5th of May, it's also Cinco de Mayo. So yeah. And then it was also Teacher's Day, which is such a special day, right? So important to celebrate our teachers. They are just incredible, hardworking people. And it is so important that we take a day. We should celebrate them every day of the year, because I'm sure a lot of our grown-ups are figuring out sometimes it's tricky to be a teacher. It can be a lot of work. And so it is so important to really recognize our teachers. And so we should recognize them every day, but especially on May 5th is our Teacher's Day. And then just a few days ago, on Sunday, May 10th, on the 10th of May, there was a really special day too. Another special day where we celebrated our moms. It was Mother's Day. So, that's a day we celebrate all, whoever we think about when we think about mom. Maybe it's, maybe our mom, our grandma, maybe it's an auntie, maybe it's, somebody who is just super special to us, who helps take care of us. Anybody who helps take care of us, and we can kind of like to celebrate that on Mom's Day, right? On Mother's Day. So that's such a special day. I thought it was really special because it was my very first Mother's Day. I became a mom last July, and so that day was my very first Mother's Day. So it was super special for me. Did you guys do anything special for your moms? Let me know in the chat if you did anything special for your mom. And then our next icon is, I keep thinking I'm going to research and I keep forgetting. So I apologize. So our next icon is on Monday, May 18th. Ooh, we have one friend that said Byron made breakfast for their mom. That's such a great thing to do. Nice, yummy. I bet it was delicious, Byron. Nice work. So on Monday, May 18th, when the 1 is in front of an 8, that is a day called Victoria Day. And that day is a day that is celebrated in a country that's just north of us called Canada. So we don't usually celebrate that here in the United States, which is why I don't know much about it. I would imagine it's a day to celebrate a queen called Victoria, who at one point Canada was kind of a part of England. And so I bet, and so the queen during way like over 100 years ago, her name was Victoria. And so I'm assuming that day is to celebrate Queen Victoria. Ooh, Rory said he wrote a card for his mom. Rory wrote a card for his mom. Nice. Or her. Ooh, I'm not sure. Rory could be a boy or a girl name. Sorry if I called you a he and you're a she, or you're a she and you're a he. So, but Rory wrote a card for their mom. Nice. Good job, girl. Okay. Rory wrote a card for her mom. Thank you, Rory. And then on Monday, May 25th, where the 2 is in front of a 5, 25th or the 25th day of May is Memorial Day. And that's a day that we remember people who have passed on, right? And a lot of times we kind of think about it as people who may have served in our military, but it's a day that we can think about anybody who's passed on. It doesn't have to be people who just served in the military. But we just think about those people that we loved who are no longer with us. So that's on Monday, May 25th. So I know everybody has a birthday, right? I have a birthday, you have a birthday, everybody has a birthday. I'm looking for friends that have birthdays in our month of May. Does anybody have a birthday in our month of May? And if you don't, that's okay. I don't have a birthday in my month of May. Mine's not for a couple months. And so if you don't have your birthday in a month of May, that's okay too. I'm not seeing any. Okay. Well, maybe we'll put a piece of cake on today's date because it's sometimes fun to have cake, right? I love cake. Okay, friends, we are going to move on, and we are going to move on to our story. So we are going to, I'm going to change things up a bit. And we are going to there we go, our Epic app. And we are going to be reading 1, 2, 3 Sea Creatures. Now, if you're here with us on Saturday, we're going to be doing the same story and the same book. And that is because I have found that doing different stories in different apps, every Tuesday and Saturday, I go through lots of stories and lots of apps very quickly. So I think when I was doing it in building, I would do the same story and app on a Tuesday and a Saturday, and then every Saturday and Tuesday would be different. So if you've been joining in on every Tuesday and Saturday, they're going to be the same. Just so a heads up from now on. We might change up the stories, but for today, we're going to be doing the same story and the same app as last Saturday. But that's sometimes fun just to review things, right? So if you're here Saturday, stay with us. If not, that's okay too. So we are going to be doing a story, 1, 2, 3 Sea Creatures. So like I said, our theme this month is we have been exploring our world. So part of our world is the ocean or the seas. And so because most of our world, I'm not sure if you knew this, but most of our world is covered in water. So there is more water or ocean, seas, lakes, things like that. Most of our planet is covered in water than land. So I think like 70% of our world has water on the surface as opposed to land on the surface. So there's a lot of animals that live down in our oceans and seas and lakes and rivers and things like that. So we're going to be talking about some of those today. And we're going to be working on our counting, which I think is always a good review. So we are going to be doing 1, 2, 3 Sea Creatures, Let's count them all. So let's start with our first number. Our first number is a 1, right? Start with number 1, and there is 1 whale tail, and that looks like a big old whale, right? That whale only has 1 whale tail. And then our next number is our number 2, our number 2, and it is a, who knows what that animal is? Is that a walrus? It is, and that walrus has 2 walrus tusks. And what does that walrus have in its little hand? Like, well, fin, hand, paw. I'm not sure what they call it. It's a toothbrush though, right? He's just brushing that tusk, making sure it's nice and clean. Oh, what's our next number, friends? It is our number 3. Yeah, it's our number 3. And what are there 3 of on that animal's nose? There are 3 donuts. 1, 2, 3 donuts. And who knows what kind of animal that is? Share with who you're with. Is that, if you don't know, that's okay. It is a swordfish, because look at its nose. It is long and pointy like a sword. Perfect for carrying around donuts. Do you think swordfish eat donuts in the ocean? I don't think so. What's our next number, friends? Is it our number 4? Yeah, and that is because there are 4 orange stripes on our little fishy. Does anybody know what kind of fish this is? I bet a lot of you know what kind of fish this is from a certain movie. If you've ever seen Finding Nemo, then this is the same kind of fishy that is in Finding Nemo. It is a clownfish, and if you look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 orange stripes. And he also has a little hat and a little balloon. What a silly fishy. What is our next number, friends? 5. It is 5. And there are 5 starfish rays. So that's what that is. That animal is a starfish. And you can see how all of its, I always thought they were called legs. Apparently they're called rays. So every little leg or ray, and there are 5 of them. And he is just sunning himself with those sunglasses. And then what's our next number, friends? It's our number 6, our number 6. And there are 6 rings around what? What is that, friends? Is that a eel? It is. And there are 6 rings around that eel. Can you count how many? Can you count all 6 of them? Count all 6 of those rings. What's our next number, friends? Is it our number 7? That is right. It is our number 7. And we have, what animal is this? What animal do we have here? That's a jellyfish. And there are 7 jellyfish tendrils, or those little things that are coming out from its head or its body. Those are its tendrils, and that jellyfish has 7 of them. What does it look like that one of them is holding like a little branch, a leaf? What's our next number, friends? Is it our number 8? That's right. And there are 8 octopus arms. And what are those octopus arms holding? Are they holding ice cream cones? Where do you think that octopus got all those ice cream cones? Sometimes I think I want 8 arms so I can eat that many ice cream cones. What about you? Especially with summer coming up. That sounds like a pretty good plan. What's our next number, friends? Is it our number 9? Yeah, that's our number 9. And there are 9 flowers. And it looks like our animal has just 9 flowers, like on a necklace around its neck. Do you know what kind of animal that is? That looks like it is a seal. And maybe with all its spots, I bet it's called a leopard seal. It is wearing a beautiful flower necklace with 9 flowers on it. What's our next animal, friend? Or what's our next number? What's our next number? Is it our last number? Our last number in this sequence? It is 10, right? So there are 10 shrimp shoes. So our little shrimpy has 5 sets of feet. And so that means there are 2, 10 little feetsies, and he has 10 little shrimpy shoes. Do you think shrimps wear shoes in the ocean? I don't think so. Woo! So we got to 10, but so 1 to 10 is fun. And here's 5 big numbers. Then we are done. I thought we were finished with 10. We are not. So our next big number is 20. When a 2 is in front of a 0, that is 20. And what does it look like? There are 20 of. What are those? Those look like sharks, right? They are called hammerhead sharks. There are 20 hammerhead sharks. And then just below that is our next big number. It is 40. When a 4 is in front of a 0, it is 40. And what are those animals? And what are they holding? Are those crabs? Look at those funny red crabs. And they are holding, looks like little flags. Little flags. And then our next big number, friends, is 60. When a 6 is in front of a 0, it is our number 60. And what are those? What are there 60 of? They're either, I sometimes get them confused. They're either, maybe they're stingrays or manta rays. Stingrays are smaller and manta rays are real big, but they kind of look similar, right? So there are 60 of them, however many there are. Ooh, 2 more. When our next big number is 80. When an 8 is in front of 0, there are 80. And what do those look like? They're kind of hard to tell, right? To me, they kind of look like cookies. But you know what I think they are? I think they're puffer fish. Have you ever heard of a puffer fish? It's a fish that it's small, but then when something tries to eat it, it will puff up like a balloon and sting its enemy. So that is our puffer fish. There are 80 of those. And then our next big number is 100. 100. And there are 100 of what? What are those animals? There are 100 little seahorse. And I think they're carrying little flowers in their mouths, little seahorses. How funny. So yeah, so we are, nice job, friends. And we are going to move on. So great job with our numbers and figuring out these silly sea creatures, what do they have? And we're going to move on to our app. So our app also has to do with the ocean. And it is called, let's see if we bring it up. It is called Tiny Bop. Oh, look at that Tiny Bop. Let's go. It is called Tiny Bop Coral Reef. So do you guys know what a coral reef is? Have you ever heard of a coral reef? It is an area in the ocean where the water is not very deep. It's pretty shallow. And that is so that when it's a coral reef will be in the shallow part because it gets a lot of sunlight, right? And a lot of these animals and plants need that sunlight to survive. And so, and especially a kind of animal called coral. And there, I bet you've seen coral before. Kind of looks like stone, but it is actually an animal. So we are going to, there's all sorts of animals that live in coral reefs. But the first one we are going to look at is the seagrass. And so this is going to be our seagrass one. And so over to the side on the right, you can see these are little seeds. And just like our grass that grows on our land, seagrass, it is grown with seeds too. And you can see the sun up there. And I think we need to make the sun a little bit brighter. So in the bottom right-hand corner, I am touching that little sun icon to make the sun really bright. So I'm going to bring some more seeds down. And what happens when there's lots of seagrass? What do you see? Oh my goodness, there's animals coming because what do you think the seagrass does for these animals? It might give them a place to hide. So like for our little crabbies, you see those crabbies coming in and they can hide in the seagrass. so that those shrimpies don't get them. You know, shrimp got that crab, right? And there's other fish that are hiding. But look what's coming now. What is that? It is a green sea turtle. And look at what it's doing. It's eating that seagrass. So not only does it provide a place to hide for crabs and fish, it also provides food for animals, just like our grass does on land. So, you know, all sorts of animals eat grass. Cows and deer and horses, they eat grass, right? And so there are other animals in the sea that eat seagrass. But sometimes, just like our grass outside that depend on the sun, if there's not enough sunlight, our grass might die, right? And look, it's not getting enough sunlight, so our grass is dying. So what happens? Ooh, our fish are exposed and our crabs are exposed. What do you think are going to happen to our crabs? Oh no, that peacock mantis shrimp is eating our other shrimpies. Oh my goodness. And so when there's no seagrass, there's nowhere to hide, and our little crabbies are going to be getting eaten, because that is what happens in the ocean, right? Just like on land, animals eat other animals, same thing in the ocean. So yeah, that's what happens. So that is why seagrass is so important for our coral reef and the sun. So you can shows you why the sunlight is so important. We're going to go back. We're going to check out a different kind of reef. And you see that black tip reef shark? We're going to do the shark one. Ooh, sharks. How many of you like sharks? They could be scary, but they're kind of cool too. So our little shark is swimming around, right? And I'm going to bring down some of these. They are called sea anemones. And I'm going to move this so at the top there are stinging tentacles. So if that shark gets too close, let's see if our shark gets too close. Whoop! He got zapped, right? That shark got zapped because they're stinging and they hurt. But there are animals that can live in those stinging tentacles called clownfish. Yeah, there are clownfish that can live in the stinging tentacles. And sometimes they get eaten by the sharks, but they have a agreement. The clownfish and the stinging tentacles, the clownfish will eat and clean those tentacles for them, and then the stinging tentacles provide a safe home for those clownfish. So I'm going to bring some rocks down too. And I'm going to bring our last animal, which is our big octopus. Look at that. And look what our octopus is doing. What's our octopus doing? Watch, our octopus has camouflage, so it can take on the coloring of rocks and different things. So look at it camouflage itself, and it will hide. It can hide from the big sharks, right? And look at our clownfish. See how they're being protected by the stinging tentacles so they won't get eaten by those sharks. But if they go too far away, they might get eaten by the sharks, or maybe even by the octopus. Let's see if those octopus will. Oh, so there's lots of clownfish. Oh no! They've strayed too far from our stinging tentacles from the sea anemone. They kind of gotten eaten, right? But the octopus, they hide because they can get eaten by the shark too, so they need to hide, but they will also eat those clownfish. So friends, and so these are just some of the animals that will live in a coral reef. And because there's lots of sunlight and which means lots of plants and animals, which means it's a good place to live, but also can be a scary place for some animals, right? So friends, we are going to finish up. I am going to go back to me, And we are just about out of time. Oop, we're a little bit over, so sorry about that, friends. But thank you guys so much for joining me for Little's Lab today. I so appreciate it. And next week, we will be doing a different story with a different app. I have a lot of these Tiny Bop apps, which we just got, and I love them. So I'm going to be featuring those a lot this month. So hopefully you guys can join us for next week on Tuesday. So have a good week. Explore your world. See something new that you can find out about your world, whether it's, somewhere across the world, our planet, or somewhere just in your neighborhood or backyard. So have a good day, friends, and we will see you next time. Take care.